Welcome back to Speaking Llama. We are here with the first person voted out from Australian Survivor, Heroes versus Villains. And mind you, not the first person to go home. Second person to go home, first person voted out. Anjali, how are you doing today?
I'm really upset. Those nasty little backstabbing ferrets. I hate them. I'm great. I'm really good.
That's great. Alex and I, every Survivor season, US Survivor, Australian Survivor, we do like a fantasy draft where we pick 5 people. And you were on my fantasy team. I thought I was going to love you from your like preseason stuff. And first time you came on the screen, I immediately loved you. I thought you were great television. I hate that you went home so early.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. I know I've basically accidentally orchestrated my own demise by pretty much just being too brave.
Hey, in your like the final thoughts, you kind of mentioned that you would have been more upset had you kept the votes in the urn. Do you still feel that way, or?
I absolutely do. So, even though it went the way that it did, what happened was I persuaded all of the tribe mates to have the votes read. Every single one. No one wanted them. And I was like, for God's sake, let's just leave the safe, boring decisions to the heroes. They've got that covered. We're villains, for God's sake. We take risks. We live dangerously. We live on the knife edge, And also, this is TV. We're here to make some damn good TV. Let's bring the drama. And Jonathan said, but Anjali, what if it's you? And I said, well, then the bigger the drama. Come on, let's get this done. And then, we got it done.
You got it done.
Yeah. Did anyone try to convince you? I mean, other than Jonathan, were some of your tribe mates trying to convince you, hey, don't push this, or was everyone pretty quiet?
Yeah. So Shani really did not want to have the votes read out. I don't know whether that's because she knew that it was me specifically, or that it was just the prospect of losing a third tribe mate. So yeah, no, I stand by my decision, but it was tough. It's really tough. Like, seeing your name spelled so badly, it's heartbreaking. And it's just like, look, I'm sorry to sound like Donald Trump, but I don't really think I was voted out. 98% of them didn't spell my name right. So quite frankly, I call fraud and I demand a recount.
I love it.
Yep. I demand a recount too, personally. But
yeah, I've always wondered on Survivor, do you go around and spell your names out for everyone? And last night's episode proved my point wrong that they do not.
I totally should have said, oh, by the way, in case any of you wants to know how to spell my name, it's Stevie.
Oh man, if only. So you are no stranger to the television. What was it like for you watching yourself on Survivor in particular?
So although I've been in front of the camera for 28 years, I think, I do not enjoy watching myself on TV. I never have.
Yeah.
But I loved my edit. I was really, really happy. I know, lots of people have a big old whinge about, oh, it didn't go that way. But I completely understand and know every single thing that I say and do. And I love the way that I was portrayed. So, it's like George might be, what do you call himself? The Macedonian Messiah, but I am the Empress of the edit. And as far as I'm concerned, I won that episode.
I would say so too. So speaking of George, what we were shown was that one of the reasons that you were voted out was being an ally of George. Were you as close to George in reality as we were shown, or was that more of they needed a reason to boot somebody off and that's what they came up with?
No, I think we were probably closer than was portrayed, because the night before, nobody got any sleep except George, because we were like this next to each other and he put his head on my boob and fell fast asleep and was like snoring. So no, we were very close. But But with George and Jackie gone, it's like the way that the vote went, we might not have even made it gone to tribal that night if we'd ever had our full, cache of villains. But it definitely wouldn't have gone that way. My name would not have been mentioned at all. It was just the most logical, I suppose, thing to do, because these two very powerful returning players who had been really quite successful previously just decided to take me on. And so I automatically had this brilliant double safety net. And then they had the sheer audacity to end up hideously maimed in hospital, leaving me completely exposed on the beach in front of all those people wearing no knickers. So it's like, oh, wonder what's going to happen here. It was just so obvious.
I mean, when I saw that alliance form together, you, Jackie, and George, I thought this is the three that takes it to the end immediately.
Oh, thank you.
And then we see them, get taken away to the hospital. And it's like, this is the worst luck we've seen in a long time for you.
Yeah. And the fact that it happened on the very same obstacle of the same challenge at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really quite devastating, and it was certainly very unsettling for the rest of us going, oh my God, if these two great players can happen to them, what's going to happen to me? So it was a very scary time. And, after they left, obviously our tribe felt just weird and empty. I mean, particularly without George, because like his massive great ego is literally visible from space alongside the Great Wall of China. So when that was gone, it just felt strange and empty, and everyone's having their little chats, and you're just like, oh my God. But Anjali, don't worry, everyone loves you, you're like so safe, you're not going anywhere. It's like, you bunch of treacherous little ferrets.
How dare they indeed. We only get to see a very tiny bit of the whole couple days that you're out there. What was something, one of your favorite parts that you experienced being on Survivor that maybe wasn't shown for the rest of us?
Well, it definitely wasn't being eliminated. No, it's kind of hard to sort of put into words, because a lot of the experience of it comes from things that are intangible, that are impossible to be seen on screen. But the thing that really got me is, like I said, I've been in the TV industry in front of the cameras for many, many years, and I have never, ever seen a production that impressive. Wow. It's mind-blowing. It really is. It's tremendous. And the work that everybody puts in, and the respect that everyone has for the game, and up to a point for each other, is really, it's sort of a mind-blowing kind of thing, but you can't put that into, on camera. It's just this amazing feeling that you get. So I think for me, that was the most sort of impressive and extraordinary part of it.
Yeah, that's great.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, so one of my last questions for you, Kaleb and I, we disagree on everything Survivor related. That's why we have these fantasy, teams. This is why we have the podcast. I did not. No. The moment you said hero's blood tastes the best or something, whatever that line was, I knew I was in. My question for you, the one thing we love JLP as the host.
Well,
can you tell us? Right? Can you tell us? Can you tell us anything about him that we may not know as viewers?
When you first catch sight of him, it is more scary than seeing the challenge itself. It's just like, something is about to happen here. But he's really funny, and I loved it that you don't see, because obviously he's got to be quite serious. I made him laugh a lot, and that was really nice. But also, and I haven't told anyone this yet, that when I went off down the little tiki torch track at the end, and then I think it was like 1 o'clock in the morning or something, and and I'm covered in that mud from the mud pit, which was not, I promise you, it's not regular mud. It's straight out of Satan's anus. It took 3 weeks for it to fully get out of my ears, and I was covered in it. And I had this, Anjali. I turned around, and it's JLP chasing me down the track in the middle of the night, and there was no one else there. And he was like, "What the?" And you know, tribe spoke, and he was like, "No, you can't go home. Not you, no." He gave me this huge snuggle in the middle of the jungle in the middle of the night, and he didn't care that I was covered in all this crap.
Yeah.
It was just really, really lovely. And he sort of just made it clear how much he wished that I'd stayed in the game a lot more. I think it's like they didn't have me there for my athletic prowess. They had me there for the shit I come out with. So.
Hey, I will take that every day over. Sean is great. He's 6'7". I'm not 6'7", and I would rather watch you on the screen any day of the week. So.
Thank you. I'll be sure to tell him that.
Sounds great. Well, kind of our last wrap-up question. I know you have lots to do today, but would you go back on Survivor? And if so, what would you do differently?
Well, it's a bit like childbirth, really. Like as soon as you do it, you just go, "Oh, I don't know if I want to do that again." Then give it some time, and it's just like, "Yeah, I'd totally do that again." Yeah. So I think I'm not somebody who ever says no to an opportunity. So if they came for me again, I can't imagine saying no. I sort of slightly feel like a Russian sleeper agent now, like waiting for the bat phone to ring. Like, "So, здравствуйте, go." So if that happened, then yes, I think I definitely would. What would I do differently? I would prepare in a completely different way. Yeah. And I would want to be sort of like a Frankenstein's monster of all of the best bits of the others, like stitch them all crudely together. And I think that would be me. That would take me to the end. Like, George's rat cunning and, Shawnee's experience. And, if I could have Sean's height, that'd be great, because I'm 5'2". Everything looks very scary when you're 5'2". And I would definitely eat and not starve myself before I went in, because even though you can't tell, I literally did. So yeah, indeed, I would do a lot differently, and I'd focus a lot more on the mental aspect of it, because that's what's going to get you through, even when your body goes, there's nothing in the tank, and your mind is just, you got to override that. So I think that's a really important quality to have, and those who have it, they're the ones who win.
Absolutely. Well, we are sad to see you go, but hopefully we'll see you back on our screens, whether in Survivor or elsewhere. And so thanks so much for taking some time. It was great chatting with you. Yeah.
It was an absolute pleasure, gentlemen. All the best.